So what I want to discuss with you all today is Facebook now being Meta or Metaverse. So what is this Metaverse? It is a new virtual existence. And my question for you is, should you invest in the end of reality as we know it? So let me just talk to you a little bit about Mark Zuckerberg's goal for this new social media platform, which is now Metaverse. So I listened to one of his videos where he was introducing the new vision for Facebook as Meta. And one of the goals is to build or design technology around people, to connect people via a virtual headset or virtual glasses, to be able to create your own avatar, which is like a cartoon image of yourself, and be able to take this avatar or cartoon image of yourself and interact with other people in this virtual world or this made up or augmented world that you are able to create on your own. Essentially, what it is you building your own virtual life, a life that you can create and make better than your current existence or your current real life. So this is kind of a loaded change that the world is getting ready to transition to. And I just kind of want to dissect this a little bit because it is very heavy and in-depth information to share and to absorb and to process. So definitely take your time listening to this video. Definitely, if you need to listen to it again, listen to it twice, definitely do that. Make sure that you also share it with someone. And lastly, do your own research so you can see what's going on in this world. So let me just continue. So how is this virtual existence or virtual reality, how is it going to be created, or how is it going to manifest? So one thing that he discussed was the metaverse will be able to use technology and artificial intelligence to create this new world. And why is this important? This is important because right now, Facebook, because of some data and privacy issues, not just with Facebook, as you know, they own Instagram as well. And Instagram is that if you are a participant in those social media platforms and you have not designated your privacy preferences, then just by default, they're able to take any information that you upload to those social media platforms and use it at their discretion. So one thing that I can see them using it for is creating avatars of you. So they're using artificial intelligence and technology, as well as all the data that you upload to these social media platforms to create another version of you in a virtual world. So just kind of pause and think about that. Over the years, we have uploaded all this information that says so much about who we are. That's why they were able to fudge some elections, so to speak, at different times in history since the onset of social media. Because through the data and the information that we input into social media, it tells a lot about who we are. Our shopping trends, our food desires, the things that we search for, the things that we're interested in, the comments that we make, the tones that we use, it actually builds a person, it builds a character. So they're taking all that data, and that's why Meta is actually metadata, or interchangeably used as Metaverse, which is the virtual world of the metadata set that is being abstracted or pulled from the social media. In this virtual world, you can interact with other avatars who who sound like you, who act like you, and have real expressions like you. So say, for example, you want to interact with a deceased family member. Maybe you've lost a parent, maybe you lost a child or a best friend. In this metaverse or this virtual existence, you can actually interact with your deceased loved ones again, just in a virtual realm, in a holographic realm, by creating those avatars. The interesting thing about this virtual world is that the way that they're using technology to mimic your actual expressions, to mimic your facial expressions, your emotions, your movements, your complexion, your hair texture and design, your eye color, so that it looks as close as possible to who you are. And so imagine interacting with other people, your friends, family, or coworkers who look as real as possible in this virtual world. Now, there is a problem with this virtual existence, and the problem is you, as a participant in this virtual world, don't fully own it. Who owns this virtual world? Who owns the metaverse? So whoever owns this virtual existence is especially since it's a technology / artificial intelligence world, whoever owns that world, which is a program, can always delete the program. So for example, you decide, okay, I want to participate and I want to transition from social media as we know it into the metaverse, which is a huge universe, but it's a virtual universe. So you decide to participate in this virtual universe and things are going well. You've designed a home the way that you want it. You have the clothes or the wearables that you want to wear in this virtual world. You're interacting with friends and family and the coworkers the way that you wanted your utopian idea of life and existence to be. You have the girlfriend that you want or the wife that you want. You have the husband that you want. Your children are as behaved as you want them to be, because remember, this is a world that you create. And then all of a sudden, the plug is pulled and now you have nothing because you don't own this virtual world. The creators of the world are the ones who own that world. And then you're stuck with what? I can just imagine how devastating that could be. It reminds me of the opening scene in The Matrix Reloaded, where there was a guy who was sitting in the chair. He had a virtual headset and his brain was fried. He was gone, dead from being stuck or whatever happened in that virtual world. You know, but when you look in his actual reality and you look in the room that he was sitting in, it was dark and just grim, and it was unkept. Like his actual reality was a disaster because he spent so much of his time in his life inside that virtual world. Now, mind you, I'm talking about a movie that came out in the early 2000s. So we're now in 2021. So I think Matrix Reloaded probably came out in 2005 or 6 or somewhere around there. But I just want to give you all a reminder of what's here and what's yet to come. So another feature that Mark mentioned about the metaverse, this virtual universe, is that you can actually pause people or block them in your world. Like say you invite someone into that virtual space. Like you say, okay, let's play a game together. Let's have a party together. Let's hang out together in the virtual realm. And they come into this virtual realm with you, and maybe they are acting a certain way that you don't like. You can just block them virtually, and you don't have to interact with them. You know, and it's such a scary thought that you can just put people on pause. But then again, it's a virtual reality, and you have the ability to control it the way that you want to control it. But then we still have to deal with the physical world. What are you doing in the physical world? Well, here's the thing. The physical world, they don't want the physical world anymore. They want the physical world to just be a total dystopia where it is a declined mayhem of a society. Because if you have all of these millions and billions of people involved in social media who are now transitioning to the new social media, which is the metaverse or this virtual universe, everyone's going to be in this virtual world, having the time of their life. And here's another tricky but interesting plan of this virtual world that they're building. The plan also is for you to be able to work in the metaverse. So one thing, and I'm going to quote what Mark Zuckerberg said. He said, remote work is here to stay. And I'm going to repeat. He said, remote work is here to stay. How would he know that? And I know he's not lying because he went on to elaborate about how you can be in the meta universe and work virtually at your job. So he talked about, imagine being able to do your job at a higher level without ever having to leave your home, not having to, get out of your pajamas, not even have to do any of that. And all you have to do is send your avatar to the workspace, and you can dress your avatar how you want your avatar to be presented in the workspace. So you could put a suit on your avatar and send them into the virtual workspace and still get work done. And he made it very clear that this is what they're currently working on, developing this virtual workspace within the metaverse. So it's very, very tricky, can be very, very frightening as well. So again, I want to just share about the plan and just kind of reiterate the plan that their focus, and I'm going to quote him with this. He said the next version of the internet is the metaverse. And he talked about how the metaverse is the successor to the internet. He said that the metaverse, or this virtual reality, not even reality, this virtual world is the new internet. He talked about how talking to people and interacting with people through typed letters on your phone or your iPad or on the computer, or looking at people through a screen, whether you're going to do a Skype or you're going to do a FaceTime or a Zoom call, how they want to do away with that. That this is becoming played out and old. They want to give you a more real experience in a virtual way. And that's what the metaverse offers. So that is the plan, to get rid of these phones the way that we know them in terms of social media. The social media aspect of it is changing to a meta or virtual reality where you will not be interacting on social media through your phone or through your computer or your iPad or laptop. That's getting ready to be a thing of the past. And so what Mark was saying is that, you'll be able to have a hologram of yourself, whether you wanted to have access to a job or be in another place that you can't physically be. By having a hologram of yourself, you're basically there in that location. Say you wanted to take a job in California, but you could not technically relocate to California because of your family situation. Maybe you're married and you have children who are small and you just cannot pick up and relocate. However, with this hologram of yourself, you could still take that job in California and have your hologram there presenting as you and performing the job. So that is their other mission with this metaverse and virtual reality. So I wanted to also share with you the avatar component of this virtual world. So I mentioned earlier that the avatar will be able to mimic your emotions, your movements, your expressions, and they'll be able to do that in real time. And so what this reminds me of is the television music competition show, Alter Ego. So in this music competition show where people come up to sing and compete, they compete by way of their alter ego. And what is their alter ego? Their alter ego is actually an avatar of themselves. So the people in the audience sit there and they watch this virtual avatar of the person competing. And then at the end of the show, the actual real person comes out to greet you or to present. However, they design the avatar the way that they want. So the same thing in this metaverse, you will be able to design your avatar. It will look like you because you want other people to recognize you. But if you want to color your hair or you wanted to wear designer clothes, you can do that in this virtual world that they're creating, this next phase of social media. And the way that you'll be able to interact into that world is with glasses, these augmented reality glasses, or augmented reality virtual visor. So those are two things that are actually on the table for getting into or entering into this virtual world. The virtual world itself can be created in terms of you buying property and land that is virtual, as well as buying your furniture, your personal accessories, whether that's shoes, clothes, jewelry. So are you able to invest in the build of this metaverse? You certainly can. You can actually buy land, you can buy properties, and you actually can become a virtual millionaire in this virtual world. So there are currently several lands that you can buy in the metaverse, which is this virtual ecosystem. The metaverse is actually thought to become a $1 trillion virtual world. So I know this was a lot of information that I shared, but my last concern is that, they're building all this artificial world, all these artificial worlds, these holograms, these avatars, all these things that are not real. And they're leaving out the spiritual component. People are moving away from reality, away from spirituality, and they're trying to create this artificial intelligence, this artificial world that uses artificial intelligence, that uses your data. So imagine that, taking everything about you and who you are and creating this fake person, this fake computer, this fake doll, or this fake robot that is a mimic or a copy of you. It's not even the original. So you are the original. You are the authentic one. You are the one that has a spirit and soul encased within you. So just keep that in mind as we transition, as we move forward in this life, in this world, to not lose hope and not lose sight of who and what you ultimately are. I think as the planet is shifting, people are becoming more spiritually conscious, but then you have the flip side of that coin where the world is being pulled in a direction that is artificial and that is not real. So I just want to leave you with that. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know this was a very long episode, but I really do appreciate you taking the time to hang in there with me, even if you had to listen to this in parts. Be great. Remember, you are a spiritual being living inside of a physical body and having a physical experience. Whatever you decide to do for the future, that is your choice, but I hope that you choose to stay real. And with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Until next time.